how to beat sugar cravings. Let's roll straight into it. Alrighty, so today I'm going to talk about what causes our sugar cravings, and also I'm at the end, as always, I'm going to provide some solutions that you can implement straight away to empower you to make better or to just own your food choices in that space. So empower you for a little bit more control over your food choices, over your body, excuse me, and to not be overwhelmed or, have that feeling of being taken over when those sugar cravings kick in. Alrighty. So how to beat sugar cravings. Hello, my name is Corinne and I'm addicted to sugar. There we go, I said it. So probably about 2 years ago, something you won't or wouldn't know about myself is I used to not be able to get through the day without having either a handful of lollies or some sort of processed sugar in some space. So yeah, now I no longer feel that way. I believe I've worked on it enough to actually have a healthy, like a really healthy relationship with food now. So I don't feel that I need to have sugar, so lollies. And when I talk about sugar here, sorry, I'm talking about processed type sugar. So, lollies, chocolate, etc., etc. So nowadays, if I have those type of foods, so if I have lollies, if I have chocolate, it's because I choose to have it. I've built a healthy relationship with food in that space, so I'm choosing to have it. And I'm choosing to have it within a meal plan that works for me and works for the goals that I want to achieve going forward. Alrighty, and there's some days now that I don't even touch processed sugars whatsoever, and it doesn't bother me at all. However, of course, there's still some days here and there that I do have sugar or I do have processed sugar. However, there's not a feeling of needing to have it anymore. Alrighty, so because I've gone through this phase, I feel then that I am in a fantastic position. I am the best person in this space to be able to help you to get to a space where I am now at. And that's having a healthy relationship with food. Because the clarity that it brings and the freedom and the feeling is beyond words, beyond expressing, and it just makes you feel so good and so empowered around your food choices. Alrighty, so do you experience and do you suffer from sugar craving? Now, if you're tuning in and watching this video, I'm guessing that you most certainly do. Alrighty, so the more that we eat sugar, so processed foods, the more then that we crave it. Alrighty, so the healthier that we do eat, the less likely we're going to crave it. Now, I most certainly understand that certainly isn't helpful when you're in the moment and just absolutely craving a hot fudge sundae, right? So it actually then becomes a vicious cycle. So the more we eat sugar, the more our body craves it and the more we actually want it, because sugar is addictive. It's true. It is addictive. It's like a drug in that space. So why do we actually crave sugar? So we're going to go through and look at some of the top causes right now as to why we actually get those sugar cravings. Now, something you probably aren't aware of is that our body actually has a physical response to craving sugar, and especially chocolate in that space. Alrighty, so the number one cause of why we would most probably be craving sugar is due to a mineral or a micronutrient mineral deficiency. Okay, So you may not realize that the root cause of your sugar cravings is that deficiency. And that micronutrient is known as magnesium. Alrighty. So So our bodies are really smart in that space, and their primary purpose is to actually keep us alive. So if our body is actually missing a important nutrient in that space, it's going to crave foods that that will fill that void as such. So foods that are full of that particular micronutrient. So chocolate, for example, chocolate is rich in magnesium. So it's safe to say in that space then, that is why we are craving chocolate. That's a big one that people crave. They crave chocolate in that space because chocolate actually has magnesium within it. It's a high source of magnesium. So something we can do in that space to try and subside the cravings for chocolate is actually make sure we're including some wholesome, high magnesium source foods within our daily diet. So nuts in this space, such as pistachios, Brazil nuts are really high in magnesium. Almonds and cashews are another one that you can add to your daily diet. Pumpkin seeds, sorry, I was going to try and mix up pepitas and pumpkin seeds in the same word. They're the same product. So pumpkin seeds are also high in magnesium, and also dark leafy green vegetables. So spinach, for example, and your silver beet, that's high in a natural source of magnesium in that space. Alrighty, so you know as well, magnesium is one of the micronutrients that almost every person within our population is deficient in. Alrighty, so if you feel, or if you go get tested, if you feel as if you're lacking or your nutrient levels are low in that space, consider supplementing in that space. And magnesium is a nutrient or a mineral that is really safe to take. So our body will not overdose, so to speak, in it. Or if you have too much magnesium, your body will take what it needs and then actually expel what it doesn't need as such, as opposed to some other minerals that actually cause damage to your organs if you have too much. So in that space, magnesium is super safe to take. Alrighty, so that's your number one cause as to why, or that's bringing on those sugar cravings. So let's now look at a couple of other causes as to why you may be craving a lot of sugar in that space. So a gut imbalance, so a unhealthy gut imbalance is going to cause sugar cravings. And I actually touched on gut health, like maintaining and improving your gut health in last week's live video, how to lose belly fat. So if you missed that video, just comment below and I'll get that across to you straight away. I'll send that video to you directly. Alrighty, so the bacteria in our gut actually controls our health. So when you eat a lot of high sugar foods, now this can be natural as well as processed in this space, because our body doesn't recognize, the natural sugars from, let's say, a piece of fruit versus the processed sugars from chocolate or from lollies. Our body still sees the sugar as exactly the same source or exactly the same way. Our body's going to process it exactly the same way. Alrighty, so if you are eating a high sugar diet, then the bacteria within your gut is going to obviously feed a lot more of, or be feeding off that sugar a lot more. Alrighty, so it ends up getting worse. So the more you eat, the more your bacteria is feeding off that sugar levels, those high sugar levels, and that then just leads to inflammation and further gut health issues. So inflammation and other debilitating health issues and health diseases as well. And that includes things like depression and anxiety. Alrighty, so once we can look at reducing and then eliminating the sugars that we do eat, then your cravings are going to reduce in that space. And you will then be able to get to a space where you don't even miss sugar. Alrighty, so, as I said before, it gets to the point where you actually choose to eat those foods rather than, feeling as if you're being overwhelmed and feeling as if you have to have them and have to have them now in that space. So it's a really empowering space to then be in. Alrighty, so another cause of sugar cravings. So poor sleep. If we don't get enough sleep, our ability to make decisions is compromised because our brain is then seeking the energy that we're lacking because of poor sleep, and it's wanting to find or get that energy from glucose-filled foods, so sugar foods. And research actually shows that poor sleep impacts our hormones. So it actually increases our hunger hormone, which is called ghrelin, and it decreases leptin, which is our satiety feeling hormone. So the feeling of fullness in that space. So straight away there, we're fighting an uphill battle. We've got our cravings coming in at us, and we've got our hormones that are going a little bit crazy as well. So we're trying to fight off both at the same time. So you can imagine it's not going to be easy. And I, for one, can definitely vouch if I've had a crappy night's sleep, I know the next day, like my cravings are just kicking in hardcore, and I've literally got to be dedicated and be like, no, I understand why this is now happening. I had a crappy night's sleep last night, and I purposely make sure I'm on top of my water, so drinking a lot of water, and I'm consciously making those better food choices throughout the day. Alrighty. So if this is happening to you, so let's just say you have a crappy night's sleep, you experience, that you want to eat a lot more sugar the next day. Just imagine if you're experiencing crappy night's sleeps every night of the week. So if you multiply that by 7, just think and consider the impact that this is having on your overall health and well-being over this space and over this period. So let's look at what changes can we make in this space to actually make sure that we're getting the best sleep that we possibly can each night. So we're setting ourselves up for success the night before. Alrighty. Okay, so another cause of sugar cravings. So stress. Stress is another cause of sugar cravings. So I know we all experience stress. Every single one of us experience some sort of stress in our life. And I think it's safe to say that every single one of us has emotionally eaten at least one time, at the very least, one time in our life before due to a stressor, as say. Now, and sugar is addictive. As I said before, it's like a drug. So it actually increases our levels of dopamine, which is the feel-good hormone. So it's understandable why we want to keep going back for those particular foods. So for those high sugar foods in that space. And yes, we're talking about sugar cravings today, or I'm focusing on sugar cravings. However, you can enter any other food, or drink perhaps into that, into that department as such. So take out sugar and you could add in, another type of food that you feel that you crave all of the time. However, I can almost guarantee that every single one of those foods that you are consuming as a craving does have a high level of sugar within it. Alrighty, so with stress, it's ideal then in that space to actually find something that we can do to actually be able to manage and cope with our stress in the best possible way. So we can't eliminate stress altogether, and nor do we want to, because our body actually relies on stress, and we need stress or a certain level of stress to survive. However, if it is chronic stress and it is constant, so day in, day out, and long periods of time throughout the day, that's when we're entering our danger zones in that space. So let's look at things like some, stress coping mechanisms or some coping strategies that we can do every day, so we can implement them into our everyday habits or everyday routine to be able to move forward in that space. So think about meditation, some breathing focused exercises that you can do first thing in the morning. Maybe you enjoy yoga and, stretching your body in that space. So that's really helpful too. Also go for a walk, actually just implement strategies or implement activities into your day on a day-to-day basis. So we're ahead of the pack, so to speak. So the toughest thing that we can ever do is get over ourselves first thing in the morning. So if we can do that, so if we can actually get over our own, stories that are holding us back, our own, nasty inner voice or our nasty inner child in that space, or the voice that, tells you you're not good enough or tells you that you'll never achieve this, you'll never achieve that. If we can get over that first thing in the morning, then our day is going to be amazing, because we are the hardest thing that we'll ever be able to move past. Us within ourselves is the one thing that will always hold us back. So if we can move past ourselves first thing, then we're setting ourselves up to have the most successful day that we possibly can. Alrighty. And consider this. If our mind is free and clear, it then stops the roller coaster of emotions in that space. And if we have, a much more balanced approach in regards to our emotions, then it reduces our emotional eating, right? So win-win in my mind. Alrighty. So let's look at kicking those cravings to the curb. So I'm going to provide some solutions that you can do right there, right in the moment when you're feeling the overwhelm of those sugar cravings starting to take over. So first things first, go and get a drink of water. So have a big glass of water. We often mistake our hunger cues for actually our body calling out for water. We're actually thirsty in that space. Alrighty, so go and get a drink of water and then wait 10, 15 minutes. Then consider, how do you feel then? Alrighty, if you're still feeling that you need, you're still having that sugar craving take over, I want you to actually sit there and take a moment and breathe. So close your eyes and focus on some nice deep breaths. Alrighty, so actually be really present in the moment. Sit with the feeling and actually, where are you feeling that within your body? Are you feeling a restriction within your neck? Are your arms tingling? Actually recognize where you're feeling the feeling within our body. So that's just helping to bring us really present and in that very moment. So it's like a real grounding type of effect there. Now, if you still are feeling the sugar craving coming on, so let's change our environment then. So whatever it is you're doing, get up, get out of that immediate environment. So whether it's going outside or, if it's late at night, I guess watching TV, let's say, that can be a high probable time for getting those cravings. If you're sitting watching the TV, actually get up and walk around your house. Like, just get out of that room, go into a different room, go and even pick up a book and, read a couple of pages of a book. So actually just change the environment that you're in. If you're able to get up outside and go for a walk, fantastic. Then you experience nature and the beauty of the weather as well. So hopefully the sunshine in that space. Now, if you're still getting the cravings, so we're up to now number 4 in this little process here. So go and actually brush your teeth. Alrighty, so the minty flavor or the different flavor of your toothpaste within your mouth can help to distract us and again bring us to that present moment. Alrighty. And it can help curb the cravings in that space as well, because we're getting a different sensation within our mouth and we're also doing something in that space. So we're keeping ourselves occupied. Yet if you feel as if you're still craving after trying these 4 things, number 5 is move on and actually get yourself a small piece of dark chocolate. And when I talk about dark chocolate, I'm talking about, 80% and higher in cacao, level in that space. So it's going to be a lower sugar content there. So we're still giving ourselves the chocolate, we're thinking of a mental approach here. So we're tricking our mind in a sense because we're still having chocolate. However, a little bit like the toothpaste in that space, the bitterness of the chocolate that's coating our mouth just allows us to stay really present, and it gives us a satisfaction of having chocolate without getting that rush of sugar that comes with, the milk chocolate, so to speak. Alrighty. So there's 5 solutions there that you can do in the exact moment that sugar craving is starting to take hold. Alrighty, so as always, guys, this is just really generalized information, and I really hope you found some benefit out of this talk today. And if you can take this info and actually implement it and see results from it, then that is amazing, and I'm super happy about that, and I'm really grateful to be able to help you to be able to move forward there. However, if you're after and you're wanting some personalized help with your individual situation so that you can actually move forward with your goals and with accountability and with the support that you need in this wild ride of being our best version, our healthiest version, then that's where I come in. I help to move parents closer to the results that they want to get. And as a parent, I know for sure that the one thing that I am short on is time. And I know that time also is the one thing that we'll never actually get back. Alrighty, so reach out to me today because I'm here to help you in that space. We can jump on a quick 15-minute discovery call and I can see if I can help you to move forward in that space, because it might just save your life. Alrighty, guys, if you're watching this, hit the like button. If anything I've said today, resonates with you, or you've liked what you've heard, you're going to try and implement some of those solutions, then send me some love in that space. Hit the love button. I'd love to hear from you. As I said, any questions, please pop them below. Hope you have the best day. I'm about to go back up to the school. My daughter's cross country is this morning, so I'm super excited to see her run. And yeah, just give it her best shot. Alrighty, guys, have the best day. See ya.